Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series on this channel of The Legend of Zelda for the NES. I did do this back in 2013, but I wanted to redo it, because, well, that one's a bit crap, and I feel like I could do a much better job this time around. So, the story here, on the title screen, it says, many years ago, Prince Darkness Ganon stole one of the Triforce with power. Princess Zelda had one of the Triforce with wisdom. She divided it into 8 units to hide it from Ganon before she was captured. Go find the 8 units to save her. But that's not the actual correct story, that's a mistranslation. Turns out what the actual proper thing for it is, long ago, Ganon, Prince of Darkness, stole the Triforce of power. Princess Zelda of Hyrule broke the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 pieces and hid them from Ganon before she was kidnapped by Ganon's minions. Link, you must find the pieces and save Zelda. See, that's the actual proper one that was corrected in the GBA and Virtual Console releases of this game. It's not the Triforce with power. Like, that doesn't make any bloody sense. But the actual true story to the game is as follows. A long time ago, the world was in an age of chaos. In the midst of this chaos, in a little kingdom in the land of Hyrule, a legend was being handed down from generation to generation. The legend of the Triforce, golden triangles possessing mystical powers. One day, an evil army attacked this peaceful little kingdom and stole the Triforce of power. This army was led by Ganon, the powerful Prince of Darkness who sought to plunge the world into fear and darkness under his rule. Fearing his wicked rule, Zelda, the princess of this kingdom, split up the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 fragments, and hid them throughout the realm to save the last remaining Triforce from the clutches of the evil Ganon. At the same time, she commanded her most trustworthy nursemaid, Impa, to secretly escape into the land and go find a man with enough courage to destroy the evil Ganon. Upon hearing this, Ganon grew angry, imprisoned the princess, and sent out a party in search of Impa. Braving forests and mountains, Impa fled for her life from her pursuers. As she reached the very limit of her energy, she found herself surrounded by Ganon's evil henchmen. Cornered, what could she do? But wait, all was not lost. A young lad appeared. He skillfully drove off Ganon's henchmen and saved Impa from a fate worse than death. His name was Link. During his travels, he had come across Impa and Ganon's henchmen. Impa told Link the whole story of Princess Zelda and the evil Ganon. Burning with a sense of justice, Link resolved to save Zelda, but Ganon was a powerful opponent. He held the Triforce of power. And so, in order to fight off Ganon, Link had to bring the scattered 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom together to rebuild the mystical triangle. If he couldn't do this, there would be no chance Link could fight his way into Death Mountain where Ganon lived. Can Link really destroy Ganon and save Princess Zelda? Only your skill can answer that question. Good luck. Use the Triforce wisely. So there's the actual proper story. I always find this extremely important when you're playing like old NES games, because they just sort of plonk you in the game with no plot or narrative, and you're like, what is going on? So this is back in the day where you had to read the manual in order to get the full context, so there you go. Anyway, for the actual game, I love this game. This is a really great game that I find has standard like the test of time or so, because it came out in 1986 in Japan for the Famicom Disk System with superior sound, because, well, it had like more sound capabilities compared to the NES version. But I kind of prefer the NES sounds, even though they do sound sharper on the Famicom Disk System. I don't know, they sound a bit high-pitched to me. So I don't know, I just have more of a sweet spot or so for the NES version. This game though, wants you to explore the world. I find that this game is more fun when you play it with the manual because it kind of tells you or gives you like a kickstart as to where to go and how things work. Like, for the first couple of labyrinths, which are basically the dungeons, they actually show you the way. Like, they show you the way to the first one and the second one. So, when you do first boot up the game, if you don't have the manual, you're just going to think, where the heck do I go? But no, if you have the manual at hand, it helps you out a lot. And the manual itself, you can have it like physically, but you can easily just find it online as well. Like, you can download a PDF version of it. In fact, I'll be referring to that as we play through this game, because I have it on my phone, you know, just for the convenience and stuff, really. Anyway, we are at level 1, which is, well, the first dungeon in this game. You can actually do this dungeon, like, a lot later after getting the upgrades around the overworld. This is the thing that I like the most about this game, is the fact that you can just do things in any order that you wish. In fact, you don't even have to do level 1 first. You can do any of the other levels. There's 9 in total, except you can't do level 9. That one, you do need to do all the other levels before that. So, because of this, you can set yourself your own little challenge when trying to play Zelda. Like, there are upgrades you can get in the overworld that makes this place a lot easier, but I find personally that whenever I played this game, with Link being just bare bones, you know, no upgrades or anything, you can get through this level okay. Through most playthroughs I've seen, they tend to go on like a massive hunt around the overworld and just fully equip themselves so that then they're all set and they can just go through all the dungeons in order. It's literally just a matter of preference in this game. And the combat it's okay. It's not the greatest, but I find that it's one of those games where it just takes a bit of practice to get used to how things work. When you're at full health, you can shoot this sword beam, which, well, that makes it useful for like a ranged attack. Unless if you get hit and if you lose a bit of your hearts, then you just go to a regular sword where you just stab. But that in itself is pretty useful as well. It's kind of weird this is, because I remember doing this back in 2013. A whole series of this, and oh boy, I didn't really know what I was doing, but over the years, I've grown to like understand this game more. Also, that hint right there, I'll cover what that hint means later. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. Like, what the fuck does that mean? There is a meaning behind that, and it's taken people quite a long time in order to decipher it, because half the clues the old man says make no sense when you first read them, but when you look into them a bit more, they do sort of make some sense. I guess it's just a matter of when you play this game, you can do it without any guides and stuff, as they encourage you to just sort of explore and try things out. But there's nothing wrong with like using a guide either. Like, I understand that, you know. Like, some people just like to play games with a guide, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's literally just a matter of what you prefer. But for me, when I played Zelda, particularly like Zelda NES anyway, I kind of enjoyed the whole adventurous side of things, so I just sort of explored around. This whole playthrough that you see here actually is literally just one giant playthrough of the entire game without me looking up anything at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I did get an understanding of it beforehand, but it was essentially just using my muscle memory, you know? But I've got so much to talk about with this game, oh my goodness. It'll be useful as well referring to the manual at times when I'm trying to get information. And you know, from a technical standpoint, this game was pretty impressive for its time, for what you could do. It was, I believe, the first NES game to do saving. Like, because the Famicom Disk System version of this game did have saving. But it was kind of cool to have that implemented in, like, the NES, because, I mean, other games, you know, like Super Mario Brothers and stuff, they didn't have saving. Heck, even games like Super Mario Brothers 3, that didn't have saving. You just sort of, you know, got as far as you could, turned it off, and that was it. You just was always plumped back to the beginning. Unless if there was, like, a cheat system involved, I suppose. But no, this one had actual proper saving. You can only save, though, if you die, or if you use a second controller. If you press up, or any of the buttons on the control pad and A, with the second controller, it brings you over to the screen where you can save, retry, or continue. Which is a system that's, well, not really around anymore, and for good reason, because it's like, well, you can save where it saves all of your progress, but it sort of puts you back to the beginning. But then there's also retry, but the problem with retry is retry literally erases your entire fucking save file. So use that with caution. It even tells you that in the manual, actually. So that's a bit bizarre. And continue just literally continues from where you last were. If you die in the overworld and press continue, it brings you back to the beginning. But if you're in a labyrinth, like where I am, and you die, you just start from a labyrinth again. Granted, you do start with like 3 hearts, because you can expand your hearts as you play through this. But, yeah. At times when I play through this as well, you might see me pause the game a lot. That's just me trying to make sure that I'm clearing the rooms, because the map at the top, or say the bottom left, shall I say, from here, I'm just trying to make sure I've covered all the rooms, as well as like extras, because I just want to make sure that I've got everything I need before I escape the place, you know? Oh, the clock right there just freezes all enemies. It's an incredibly useful item if you're in like a bit of a pickle trying to destroy a whole bunch of enemies. This is the first boss, known as Aquamentus. You just sort of stand here. If you have full hearts and a sword beam, you can just take him out of ease, or you can go right up to his face and hit him as well. That also does the job. But, you know what? That'll do it for this episode. I just thought I'd do this, just give you a bit of an introduction for this game. And I'll see you in the next part. Look forward to seeing you then.